Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be comparing the Chevy Silverado ZR2 to the Ford F-150 Tremor. Before we get into this video, I'm going to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Chevy here in Provo and the Ford here in Provo for giving me some time with both of these trucks. Both of these trucks are still available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to both of their websites in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering the Tremor is a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 16 around town and then 20 on the highway, with power outputs being 400 horsepower and then 500 pound-feet of torque. You can also get a 5-liter V8 under the hood of the Tremor if you want. Now, powering the ZR2 is a naturally aspirated 6.2-liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 14 around town and then 17 on the highway, with power outputs being 420 horsepower and then 460 pound-feet of torque. Right now, this is the only engine option available, but apparently you can get a diesel for the 24 model year. Now, before we go over the front ends of the truck, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Starting over with the Tremor, you guys can see we've got the vent pieces there on the hood, and then we've got gold accenting here with the Tremor. That's kind of the name of the game with this particular package. LED headlights, you got parking sensors, but since this is an off-road truck battle, most important, we've got skid plate protection with the Tremor, and then we've got 10.9 inches of ground clearance. Now, popping over to the ZR2, you guys can see we've got the giant hood bulge there in the center with a 6.2L badge, and then look at the headlights here. Love the style there. You got your ZR2 badge, and then you guys can see you've got the flow tie. We've got the red tow hooks here at the bottom, so red, I guess, is the color here for the ZR2. And then notice with the bumper cut out there, that is to help out with mounting your tire onto a rock while you're off-road. Skid plate protection here is another thing with the ZR2, and now ground clearance is 11.2 inches, so a little bit more than what you have with the Tremor. And then here's them side by side. You guys can see the ZR2 definitely looks a little bit taller, a little bit wider, so it definitely has a more aggressive stance, at least with the front end. When it comes to tires and wheels, they're actually identical with the truck. So we've got 18-inch wheels here on the Ford, and then we also have 18-inch wheels here with the ZR2. 33s, and guess what? We have 33s. Now we have slightly different tires. You guys can see the tread pattern here on the Ford, and then compare that to the ZR2. I mean, they're both all-terrain tires, just slightly different. But let me know which setup you like more. Now with the Ford, we've got independent front suspension and then a monotube shock, and then the Ford is lifted slightly compared to a regular F-150, and it has a slightly wider track as well. With the ZR2 independent suspension, we have like a 2-inch lift compared to a regular Silverado with the ZR2 package, and then we've got multi-matic shocks. Now the ZR2 has these subtle fender flares here, and then you can see the ZR2 badge. Notice the mirror cap blacked out, and you can see the door handles also blacked out, which is pretty cool, and then the fender flare there on the rear. Whereas with the Tremor, you just have this cut here on the fender, no fender flare. Got the Tremor badge, and then you can see with the mirrors, and then notice the door handles body painted. We do have side steps on the Tremor, whereas the ZR2 we do not. Now when it comes to shocks in the back with the Tremor, we've got a twin tube setup, and then you can see we've got leaf springs with a solid rear axle. Now with the ZR2, you guys can see those multi-matic shocks. We got leaf springs here, and then also solid rear axle. And then here's your full side view on the Tremor. You guys can see there's a little bit of rake with the truck, so the front end is slightly lower than the rear end, but overall I think it looks really cool. I like the Tremor decal on the back. And then here's your side view on the ZR2. You can see it's quite a bit more even front to rear. It is still slightly higher in the rear, but again, like I said, it's a little bit more level overall. Now, before we move on to the next feature, we need to talk about today's video sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. Now, believe it or not, the modern world is actually a pretty treacherous place. Every single time you go out for a drive, there's a chance that you could get into an accident. You could be walking in front of a business, they could have something on the ground, and you could slip and fall and hurt yourself. And on top of that, you could just be doing your job, right? Like you always do, and something could happen and you could sustain a major injury. This is a topic that's very important to me personally because I drive about 40,000 miles per year for the channel, and so there are a lot of situations that I'm put in on a day-to-day basis where accidents almost happen. Now, knock on wood, nothing's happened for years, but there's always the chance that something could happen. And well, this is where Morgan & Morgan comes in. They are America's largest law firm with over 100 offices, over 800 lawyers, and over 4,000 case staff that are all ready to help you out. And one of the best parts about working with Morgan & Morgan is that things like the negotiations, the court hearings, and the research associated with putting together a case are all free unless you win. And so if you're involved in some kind of personal accident, whether it be a car accident, a slip and fall accident, or an accident at the workplace, then you might want to get help from Morgan & Morgan. And on a little bit of a side note, don't feel bad about hiring an attorney. Remember that you're suing the insurance company that is worth billions upon billions of dollars. They can more than pay for the compensation that you deserve. So if you are injured in an accident, then you can check out Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/Ben Hardy, or you can give them a call at #529, that is pound law. Again, www.forthepeople.com/Ben Hardy or pound law. And it looks like the chicken's rustling in the back. They agree. Go with Morgan & Morgan. So here are the key fobs for the trucks. You guys can see functionality on them is identical. They look a little bit different though, Ford key fob versus Chevy key fob, but both have remote start, tailgate dropped, and all of that. Now starting with the ZR2 bed, first off, you guys can see this one has the multi-pro tailgate setup, or the multi-flex, whatever they call it for the Chevys, which apparently I don't know how to use it. There we go. It's a step. You also have a handrail that'll help you access the bed. We've got LED lights here in the bed. We've got a full power outlet as well, and then we've got spray and liner from the factory. And if you guys are wondering, it's about a 5.5 foot bed roughly. And when you're all done, just do that, and then you just kind of lift it up all in one motion. And popping over to the Ford, we also have a bed step thing, whatever you want to call it. A little bit different than the handle is actually built in there. Got some measuring charts here on the bed, which is pretty cool. LED bed lights in the back, and then this one also has an outlet. No bed liner, but that's something you can easily add in after the fact. And then getting this up is pretty simple. Just throw that in, and then with the tailgate, just lift that up. Now wrapping things up with the Silverado, you guys can see the tail lights here, and then look at the tailgate with the multi-flex. Pretty interesting. You've got the bumper steps there on either side with the receiver hitch. I'll talk about towing capacities a little bit later with the trucks, but there's the ZR2. And then popping over to the Tremor, this one's the XLT Tremor, so you've got the more baseline taillights. You can get the Lariat with the more upgraded ones. Got the Tremor logo right there. We've got recovery hooks here on the back end, and then the exhaust tips are super prominent. If you guys are wondering with the ZR2, the exhaust tips are hiding there underneath because you got the high clearance exhaust tips. And popping into the ZR2, here is the door panel on the rear. I really love the design, and this is made to be easy to clean and to kind of not show stains, which is great. And then that continues onto the seats as well. You got the behind the seat storage here. You guys can see the trim that goes down the center. And then you got the under seat storage as well. Flat loading floor, and let's quickly see what legroom and everything's like. So that's pretty solid. Got some cup holders here in the center. Got some heated seats, USBs, full vent action. Cup holder armrest, which I bumped my elbow on, so the camera's probably a little bit shaky during one of those shots. But anyways, I mean, this is a pretty nice cabin back here. And popping over to the Ford. So again, this is the XLT package. You can get the Lariat, which will have a nicer interior. But anyways, you guys can see with the stitching and everything throughout, it looks more bronze here. Maybe I am colorblind, because like in some lighting that looks gold, and some lighting, like right now it looks bronze, but if there's a lot of light on it, it looks more gold. Anyways, other than me being colorblind, here are the seats. So pretty cool design down the center. If you get the Lariat, you get the upgraded leather seats, which are a little bit nicer. And then you can see under seat storage there. Pretty similar cab setup though, honestly. Space and everything. Storage pocket. Got some cup holders here, vents, charging ports as well, and then headroom, just like the Silverado's good. So yeah, I mean, both these cabs I'd say pretty similar. And this leads us to the front of the ZR2. So here's the front door panel, have that same design as the rear. All of our window controls, front two are automatic. Got your mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in, memory seat function. Got blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then speaker for the Bose sound system. Notice this says ZR2 down below. And then here's your payload capacity, 1,396 pounds. And then towing capacity with this truck is 8,800 pounds. And then here's the front seat, just like the back with the easy clean setup. Power adjustments, you've got your drive mode select here through tow haul mode select. You got 4-wheel auto, 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low, 2-wheel high as well. You get your controls for your heads up display, your light controls, steering wheel is power adjustable. And getting in, you do have to step up a bit. So it's the thing with the ZR2. Nice solid sound. Ooh, pretty fancy. So this is the Silverado's normal upgraded steering wheel with the black Chevy bow tie. We've got radio controls on the back with our paddle shifters for that 10-speed automatic. Some controls for the center stack, cruise control, all of that fun stuff. And then speaking of center stack, full digital gauge cluster here with the ZR2. And Got like the tow haul mode. And then we got the other drive modes. We got the off-road mode, terrain mode. Off-road is for higher speed off-roading. Terrain is for like rock crawling, basically. And then another cool part about the ZR2 is the camera system. So we have this full 360 camera system. So you can see out of every single angle of the truck, which is great. Resolution's fantastic. As for the rest of the infotainment system, first off, you got the little like side tab here. But you know, response time on the screen's really good. We have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You got the shortcut bar as well. And then down below, lane departure, you got your parking sensors, auto stop start, tailgate drop down, hazard lights, stability control, hill descent, front and rear locking differentials in the ZR2, which is a nice bit of off-road tech. Trailer brake controls here. And then you guys can see dual zone climate, heated and ventilated seats as well. And then we got our shifter for that 10-speed automatic, some cup holders here. And then here's the center console. Wireless phone charging pad lies inside. And then this has the camera rear view mirror. And then we got the controls here for the sunroof, as well as the power sliding rear window. And popping over to the Ford, you guys can see the door panel here with the bronze stitching. All of our window controls, front two are automatic. You got your mirror adjustments, door lock and unlock, and then we got blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then you guys can see Bang & Olufsen sound system. Payload capacity is 1,657 pounds with this truck. Towing capacity is going to be right around that like 10,000-ish pound range. And then here's the front seat. You can see Tremor right there. And the rest of the trim down the center. Got your power adjustments on the side. Pedal adjustment here with your parking brake, light control. You've got the mirror lights. And then look at the flag. That's pretty cool. Steering wheel adjustment, which is also manual. Side steps help out with getting in. So that's nice. Ooh. Built Ford tough. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see the trim all around. Again, you got the bronze stitching, some controls for the center stack. We've got adaptive cruise control, volume controls, voice command controls, you know, all of the normal works. And I guess we have no fuel, but anyways, here's the center screen. If you get the Lariat version of the Tremor, you do have a like full digital gauge cluster, just to note. And then bunch of different drive modes for both on-road and off-road use, so quite a bit more drive mode customization compared to the ZR2. And then in reverse, this also has a 360 camera system, so you guys can see the bird's eye view, and then also all around the truck as well, so like we can change the viewpoint a little bit if you guys want to see that. Anyways, as for the rest of the infotainment system, we got a shortcut bar here at the bottom. You got the little auxiliary tab there as well. Pretty easy system to use. I'd say both infotainment systems are great. Got the camera button there at the top. You guys can't see this, that's why I'm just now labeling it. Parking sensors, you got your hazard lights, stability control, and then your off-road cruise control. This says Pro Trailer Assist. Trailer brake controls, and then our drive line select. So we've got a 2-wheel high, 4-wheel low, your locking differential for the rear. We've got our radio controls, dual zone climate controls, heated seats here for the front. And then you guys can see the storage space right there. Got your fold down shifter, some cup holders, and then this has the workbench center console. But yeah, good storage space. Double glove box, just like the ZR2. Nice trim there on the outside. And then we do have a power sliding rear window, and actually 6 auxiliary switches, which apparently don't want to show up on camera. No sunroof in this. And then I also want to talk about this little differential thing. So the Tremor doesn't have a front locking differential like the ZR2, but you can get a Torsen limited slip differential, which kind of acts like a front locking differential. Now, as equipped, the ZR2 stickers for about $76,000, whereas this Tremor stickers for about $67,000. So there's a pretty big price difference, but if this Tremor had the Lariat interior and all of that, then it would be closer in price to the ZR2. Still a little bit less, but closer in price. Now let's get some things up for our walk around comparison, and if you want to see the driving comparison, then I recommend you subscribe, because as soon as I post that video, then you'll obviously be notified that that video is posted. But let me know which of these trucks you prefer after the walk around comparison. Do you like the features and the style of the ZR2 more, or with the Tremor more? And with that being said, I'll see ya.